Hello and welcome. I thought I'd do a little bit of a shrine tour today. This is my shrine and altar for the various gods and holding various things that are important to me. We'll start down here. First of all, my little library of specifically Hellenic pagan things, and this is a fake book that holds things inside it. This is my Chthonic, my little shrine for Thanatos, which goes beneath my Oranic shrine, as it should. And then just some things that spilled over. A feather that doesn't fit, my larger incense burner, my tarot cloth, some miscellaneous I'm just leaving here, my various tarot and divination decks, and all that. And under that is all these books that are personal to me in one way or another. But up above it is my main shrine to the Oranic gods. And over here is just some miscellaneous things that go near the shrine. Things that I use occasionally. The bowls that I put carnaps and cleansing things in, and also burn things in. That's a computer fan grate that is nice for getting air in my incense and my little travel altars, or travel shrines in that. And then my main shrine. We'll look at some things I have here. This is a cruddy dagger. I eventually want to get a handmade blade of some kind, because it was very traditional for Ares to be represented by a sword or a spear rather than a statue. And I think that's great, but this is just cheap, mass-produced nonsense. I put it here because I had it already. So, it might as well go here. I want to get a better one someday, but good handmade blades are expensive. This is a beautiful artwork that a friend of mine made. I will put a link to her shop in my video. It is full of fascinating, weird, interesting, beautiful things. And my Ares pendant that was made by a wonderful Russian artist who unfortunately is no longer visible on the internet, and I hope he's all right. I suspect something to do with, recent conflicts has affected his business. But it's a lovely pendant. And oh, right, I had this tucked away because my dad was visiting, and he might have said something strange about it. And I'm very open about most of my things, but having an argument about my dad and old gods. But a friend of mine made this for me, and I love it. This is from the Hades game, the Ares symbol, but the rest of it is very me. And various things. This stone is fantastic. It's not a fossil. It's a chemical reaction that creates little dendrites there. And I got a little bowl for putting tiny offerings in, and a ruby. Rubies are one of Ares' gems. I have a bunch of rubies here. That's another one. And there's some in here. These are various gems that are interesting and important. And a bottle. This is full of tiny little gemstones. Garnet. The bearded vulture, called the ossifrage or lammergeier, also one of my favorite birds. And vultures, of course, are dedicated to Ares. And this is a fun Ares moth design somebody came up with. Some of my Ares things, and some carnelian sphere. This is my libations bowl. I need to go dump it out and then wash it. I sometimes forget and things dry in there. That is some wine I poured in earlier. And this is my altar. It's got a candle lit on it now, and it has little tokens for my main gods. The seashells for Aphrodite, the ruby, of course, for Ares. This is a meteorite. That's for Hermes. These, of course, is the god of travel, something that's traveled that far. And this meteorite has come untold millions of miles. It's wonderful. That makes a good token for him. And this is for Dionysus. This is a boulder opal. It's hard to see. It has little flashes of beautiful iridescence in it that I it's so hard to get on camera. And for Hephaestus, a chainmail scale. Something worked, because of course he's the god of the forge. And then over here, a few more things for Aphrodite, another seashell, and this is a seed from an interesting fruit that I got in Hawaii. And a couple little Lego swords for Ares, because he goes with Aphrodite. This is rose oil, also for Aphrodite. This is a bowl of other scented oils, which I mostly associate with Ares. You know, dragons. Ares is the dragon's teeth, you know, the Spartoi and all that in myth. So dragon's blood. And this is for Hephaestus. This is great. This is a hardened steel etching tool. Very, very durable. But I used it for 20 years, and I finally kind of broke the point there. So I thought when I retire this, I bought a new one to use. I thought when I retire this, I'll dedicate it to Hephaestus for all the things I've made that went in it. And this is another one for Hephaestus. This is a little, somebody made this beautiful. It's out of a pair of Irish coins, Irish tuppence, two pennies. So they're copper like pennies, but they're larger. And they've got, it's actually full of little opals. So that's for Dionysus. He and Hephaestus have some overlaps in myth. When Hephaestus finally returned to Olympus to stay, it was because Dionysus got him drunk and talked him into it, basically. And then here, this is for Hermes. Hermes is associated with moss agate. This is a lovely little moss agate in an agate bowl and a moss agate pillar. And this is a fake feather. It's made out of leather by an artist I love. Oh, they make the most beautiful things. I might try to link that too. And I have several feathers of theirs. One of them is in my car, to hanging from the mirror for Hermes. But this blue jay one is beautiful. It's in my shrine. And then, of course, lastly, I've got a lovely crystal decanter full of tawny port for Dionysus, because, of course, he appreciates that. On very special occasions, I'll splash a bit out of this into the libation bowl. And, you know, this is another vulture. Vultures for Ares, even when they're squishy. A little Hades pin on him. And my Carnups mix. A little devotional candle on a fun pedestal. Some other things. Just miscellany. But that is my shrine. And thank you for coming along to see it. And I will see you later.